And greetings, folks. Welcome to a victorious WyoNation Arizona Bowl postgame show. I am Chad Smith, your host, and I am here with Brad Reed and Shay. Welcome on back, boys. Well, that was, a boring game with no excitement at all, right?
I'm exhausted. Like
If I saw one more bad punt, I was gonna punt something in my house.
Stop!
Yeah, he's saying stop with the bad punts, is Shay's son.
that was so crazy, but so fitting for the end of the Craig Bowl era at Wyoming. Just closing out a game in the most ridiculous fashion at the buzzer.
There's a lot to talk about, and Joseph is already in. Joseph is a regular watcher and commenter. He says, go Pokes, of course. So head on over to the YouTube stream, boys and girls, and you can get your comments here live on stream as we break this down. There's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. Brian's also here. Let's see what Brian has to say. Sitting in Belfast, Northern Ireland, still shaking. Well, there we go. Wow, look at that.
Man, if you could get a guy in Northern Ireland shook, I don't know. I don't even know where to go
from Northern Ireland does WyoNation reach. Good to see you, Brian. Thanks for joining us.
I can't believe it. Like, what a way for Hoyland to finish this season after the season he's had. Just 3 field goals and put the game winner away.
That is a big thing, right? So you say that I am the founding member of the hashtag Red Shoe Man moniker, and so it's on the ticker here, of course. One of the last times we get to use it, unfortunately. But Red Shoe Man, he doinked one in from 52, right?
Yep, off the
post, just got through. It's pretty crazy.
I can't believe it.
Well, here we go. Brian says that this guy is crazy. He says he went to uni with John Whalen's dad in England.
Wow.
Okay.
The world is a very small place. I'll say that much.
There we go. And probably that's why he's watching Wyoming football in Northern Ireland and Belfast, I'm guessing, because he's got the connection there. Right, and Hoyland is, yeah.
Also, boys, as we said in the pregame show, if we win today, we're going to raise a glass. So I don't think it's too soon, but we're raising a glass.
Sure. I mean, is Shay prepared?
Shay's probably got a bush light hiding there.
I do have a bush light, but I'm also laying in bed with my son right
now. Oh, okay. That's fine. We'll drink for you. I've got mine.
Stop.
Cheers, boys.
There it is. Hey, cheers. Congrats to Craig Bowl.
Got that sweet Wyoming whiskey. There you go, buddy.
Career. Oh, yeah, you got the Wyoming whiskey going. That's nice. Robert is in. Robert says, let's go Mountain West. Okay, we're cheering for the purple and gray.
For Meat Hook out there, in case you're wondering.
What kind of bourbon? Yeah, he's got the Wyoming whiskey.
Steamboat edition.
So he's got full-blown goodness there. I am drinking actually a scotch. Because that's what I have, and it is delicious. I like the scotch.
I got Widow Jane in the kitchen, but I got to wait till Jameson falls asleep here.
Okay. Shay is multitasking on this stream tonight, boys and girls, but that's okay.
Man,
we will let it happen. Great to see everybody. So if you are watching on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, head on over to YouTube. Go to YouTube at WyoNation, and you can get your stuff on here. Let's see. We have another one. Fresno State Dogs fan, but Wyoming is my second favorite team. Okay. That's why you say let's go Mountain West. I see.
Well, welcome to the bandwagon.
I got you. Right. Fresno won their game, right? Or am I crazy?
They did.
So there we go. Fresno won their bowl game as well. Very awesome.
Oh, wow.
Oh, here we go. Meat Hooks got Angels Envy. Wow. Rare Aged Caribbean Rebel. Oh, that sounds really good.
That sounds delicious, actually.
I've heard of that, I do believe. That's like a national brand, I think.
Yeah, Angels Envy Meat Hook stuff.
Okay. I think I've heard of that. That's right up my alley because I love a rye. But a rye in a rum barrel? Oh, boy. That sounds really delicious. So, yeah, I hope everybody is enjoying a drink here. Oh, I don't even know where to begin, but I guess we'll just say that it took him 10 years, but Craig Bowl is now officially over 500 as Wyoming's head coach as he heads off into the sunset with a 61-60 record.
There's no better timing than your very last game as a head coach
to get over 500. Yeah.
Yeah. So that puts his bowl record at what, 4-2? Is that right? Something like that.
I don't know. I had it up.
We had the losses to what?
4-2. I don't know if it's 4 wins. I don't think we've won 4 bowl games.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You had the
Maybe
2 Potato Bowl wins. You had 2 Barstool wins, and they lost to BYU, and then you lost to Ohio last year.
Okay. So is it
Yeah.
4-2? Okay.
Yeah.
He's got it. So you're right. Sorry. I shouldn't doubt you.
I was just wigging it, so it's fine. It's very on brand for me.
Well, I guess let's talk about some of these stats.
Man,
While
they
we're
were
out here.
They were close. Total
Yeah,
yards
very.
were 354 to 328.
Yep.
We hit the under by a mile. Nobody saw that coming.
Rushing yards also fairly even. 170 for Wyoming, 144 for Toledo.
Pretty good.
Passing yards. Both teams had 184 on the nose.
Under 188.
Where were you on the parlay, Chad? That was the parlay. It was 180 on the parlay.
It was 180 on the parlay, but I would have lost anyway because I had Wyoming minus 2.5.
Oh yeah.
So it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. The Wyoming minus 2.5.
Oh,
what was that?
The parlay wouldn't have mattered because Evan accounted for too many passing yards.
Yep.
Oh, good point. It was no, I think it was a team.
Oh,
passing.
Yeah,
that
you didn't have an individual piece.
They didn't cover. They didn't cover the spread. So, let's see other things. Look down here. 21 to 27 passing, right? I mean, you would think that's perfect. So they got back there in the end. It's just they had that lull in the second and third quarters where they couldn't run the ball, and they didn't adjust until the fourth.
Just slammed Whaley and Scott into a brick wall over and over and over again.
Yeah,
that Toledo defensive line was big, and they were aggressive.
Yeah. So Toledo's got a good defense, I can say, right? So I'm not gonna. We should have adjusted better, but you can say they did. They didn't have anybody in the portal, but it sounded like they had a couple guys who were sent out for NFL draft purposes. And then I wonder how big of it was a concern where I guess one of their best players was the guy who got sent off for the targeting.
Yep.
And so that probably had a lot to do with the fourth quarter as well.
Yeah, he was like the team's leading tackler, I think.
I think they said that.
But yeah, we held kudos to the defense today, though. The defense played their ass off all day long. And they held Tucker Gleason to 41% completions.
He was pretty bad.
Yeah, they just
had a lot of wide receivers open.
Yeah,
and I would say, I mean, if they had their starting quarterback in there, I don't think today would have been a good day. But you play who you play, and he wasn't in there, thank God, and they held the backup. Andrew's got a question. Any word on the Peasley injury? The Cowboy Radio postgame was blacked out on both of my feeds. Okay.
Oh, weird.
It looks to me like it was a rib situation to me.
Yeah, it looked like he took that shot to the ribs and an elbow to the chin, simultaneously, basically.
Sure.
On that first
and
down.
He had a pretty nasty cut on his knee.
Yeah, he threw a dart to Ayer, but that was all she wrote.
Yeah. He must have had
over.
Broken rib or something on that hit.
Did he have rib problems earlier this year? I know he did last year, right? It was ribs.
No, he had that pretty hard shot against Texas Tech, and then he had a knee problem. That's why he didn't play against Portland State.
Sure. So, but I think last year he had a ribs, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, I mean, once you break a rib, it doesn't really heal. Yeah, and so playing football is not probably the best thing for somebody who's got broken ribs because they can't really heal. So
yeah, he's got some time to heal up now. I think
he does. He doesn't have another game to play. As a sixth-year player, which is crazy to say, but a heck of a competitor as the Wyoming quarterback is what you can say about him.
willing to take a hit at any expense just to keep the ball moving downfield. And that last pass he threw today, he was, back and had the ball out and hit his receiver in stride, and it was a great play. And that's a pretty good way for him to go.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we. Okay, Robert says, doubt broken Reds, probably badly bruised. Sure,
That's probably a good assessment.
Sure. But I guess how worried were you guys there when he came out? Because we had all the momentum, and then he comes out, and then I was like, dang, you got to be kidding me. But Evan Svoboda stepped up. I don't know. Let's look here at the individual passing numbers.
I think if it wasn't for the Texas game, I'd have been more concerned. But Evan's a gamer.
He went 1 for 2. Completed that 1 16-yard pass and then had some runs, obviously, that were 5 rushes for 26 yards.
Yeah, that one almost fumble.
I got really worried on that fumble. That fumble almost went horribly.
Yeah, thank goodness nobody was there.
Holy smokes. I guess that was like kind of good karma, I guess, for the fumble that we missed out on earlier in the game where they ruled it an incompletion instead of a fumble. Maybe that was just a karma thing coming back.
Perhaps. Yeah, so Peasley, 20 of 25, and some of those incompletions were drops. I mean, he was dropping downs. We had the long pass to Brown, which should have been a touchdown. He dropped.
Yep, that was a bad
couple to the tight ends. I don't know if they're drops, but they were right there, and they got knocked down.
The one that Gillenborg had at the end zone, I think, was a drop.
Yeah, it didn't help. Luke Sandy missed his block, and Pease got exploded in the back.
But the point is that, right, he didn't have many bad passes.
No.
He was on target. He was accurate.
20 and 25. So
that's all you could ask for. So great to see there.
Grant wasn't on the sidelines. Grant must have been the OC today.
Yeah, Gordy was on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we never got – the Barstool said it was play calling by committee. So they must have been fed that by the coaching staff, obviously. We'll see maybe in the postgame if the media asked. They should. We'll see if maybe it doesn't matter.
Maybe it was Oscar Giles out there coaching or doing some of the OC play calling.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll have to see with the postgame, and we'll see if it gets uploaded. Arizona Bowl will probably have it. Wyoming's been really bad these past couple of weeks about uploading stuff.
Yeah, they've been
which is disappointing. Sure. We may have to talk to be like, hey, every other school in the country, seriously, like gets their stuff up right away. Wyoming takes
I think that's
weeks.
been complaints from the media as well. Like all the media members have been pretty upset about the sports information director.
Get the stuff. I mean, it's all you record it, upload it.
Yep.
That's your job. It behooves you because people are searching for this stuff, right? And that's why we don't really need journalists these days. And that's why things like what we do here where fans are talking is because the technology is there to do it. You don't need the guys from the newspapers or the radio to report your stuff. You can put it out yourself and then the people can consume it themselves. And you control the narrative that way. So, and that's the big thing why people do it. Let's see. Wyatt Wheeland, 5 catches, 55 yards. Gillenborg, 4 for 44. Trayton Welch, 4 for 22. Wheatley, 3 for 3. Essier, only that 1 catch, but huge, 26 yards. Catch. And then Marquez as well early in the game where he had that Peasley had that scramble and Marquez worked back to the ball.
Yep.
14 yards and a first down.
Yeah. That catch that
pretty good.
Marquez had, that was the craziest play. Like Peasley just running around, trying to find somebody, and eventually just sidearms one. That was a great play.
It was good. And then let's talk about the defense.
Also, can we talk about the fat guy touchdown?
Sure. Yes, I think that is probably the thing that was the most attention.
The most insane play I have seen in a football game probably in my life.
Yeah. Because it was illegal.
Well, yeah, that too.
That's why. But it was. I mean,
it doesn't seem like anybody really knew the rule on that play until
a
ways after. So
No.
I guess you didn't watch the game. It was what, fourth down? I think it was third down. Toledo set up a tunnel screen, bounced off their running back's hands. The center ended up just catching it and running downfield 30 yards for a touchdown.
Touchdown.
But
Or so we thought.
called back because an offensive, what is it? A lineman can't be the first to touch it if it comes off his own player. Is that right? Because it'd be
Correct.
ineligible man.
And that was the rule. So it still made it an because and they said because then you would just design a play, right? To where you would like shovel pass it to like a running back and they could like, bump it to a lineman, which would be difficult to do, right? But that's why that's there. So you can't be an eligible receiver and catch the ball in any circumstance.
It was unless
the defense touches it.
Yes,
right.
So if the defense had touched it first, the lineman could have ran for that touchdown.
Correct. Yes.
But wow, what the craziest play I've seen.
And it was crazy because the referees didn't catch it at first, and then they come back like after the touchdown. They said, "Oh no, you can't do that," and then they reviewed it, and I'm like, "What?"
Do you think refs have ever reviewed their own call before?
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that was weird.
And so they were a Sunbelt crew. And again, I don't know about the level of officiating in the Sunbelt.
Probably as
I don't think they were fine as far as I'm concerned. They let them play. It
was a clean game
on both sides, right?
7 total penalties called.
Yeah. So they're letting them play. They weren't calling like ticky-tacky crap like we get in the Mountain West where they're just doing,
Nope.
I think if there were Mountain West officials today, there would have been a lot more pass interference because there was a lot of it out there today.
I think Wyoming got away with one late.
Oh, we did. Yeah, they grabbed that guy. You could see we were grabbing his jersey. His jersey is getting nailed. And I was like, I can't believe they didn't call that.
Dave Portnoy and Big Cat were definitely yelling about that one.
They were yelling about Bowles play calling today, which is the funniest thing ever.
Yeah. So you think about this, right? There's a lot of people out there that hate the fact that Wyoming plays in the Barstool Bowl because the Barstool guys are kind of idiots.
And they are.
And it's like, online only kind of, telecast, right? But if you think about it, if you listen to Portnoy, Big Cat, whatever, you're basically just listening to us calling a game. Like if you put the three of us in the booth and somebody that's like got some sort of journalism degree that can actually call the game, but then you put us around them, that's what it's going to be. And I think that's very relatable for a lot of people because we're all kind of idiots when it comes to sports. So I think the play call was designed for just idiots like us, and I think it's great.
Biduk says he thinks the Barstool guys had money on Toledo. I agree because they were like high-fiving each other.
Portnoy said before the game he bet Wyoming.
Yeah, Portnoy had Wyoming, but Big Cat had Toledo. So after the kick, they were in the booth. Big Cat's head was just down, like staring at the table because he had just lost.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
To be fair, Big Cat does always say on Pardon My Take that he is the world's worst gambler. So serves him right.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I'll say we would do a better job than them because they were just saying. I mean, of course, part of it is a shtick, right? Like half the stuff they say, they can't believe it, right? Because did you see? They were like, well, that on the lineman play, they're like, well, that was such a cool play. They should have just let it stand. And I'm like, well, come on, you can't believe that.
But to be fair, it did have style points.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Barstool is what it is, and it's an experience different than other bowl games because it could be worse because we could have Orlando Franklin being the color guy, and that is terrible.
Andrew says he likes it. Yeah, and the big thing to me is, right, this is supposed to be fun, but half the time I'll turn off the thing anyway because these play-by-play guys are so commercialized and so stale. They're boring. You don't learn anything from them.
Yeah, like I think we said this when we were doing our pregame huddle that Jordan Rodgers is a really good color guy for being what he is, but a lot of these guys are just like, cool, that's neat. So it's good to have something a little bit different.
Brando and Aaron Taylor are the only two guys won't mute to listen to Keith exclusively, but other than that, these guys, I mean, the guys were good today. I don't think calling players idiots was
No.
The best thing to do on national TV and calling the Barstool Wyoming Twitter guy's mom a whore was probably not the cream of the crop today, but I mean, it was. It's just like a watch party for college guys, and it's reaching out to a different brand. And like I said after the last time, is this was the only nationally televised game because you get it on rabbit ears. This is the only truly national televised bowl game.
Sure.
I quickly realized the struggle of watching bowl games when I was at my parents' house, and they don't have cable or anything. So here's me just like firing up my ESPN Plus app and just hoping for the best.
You're not missing anything, as you probably found out.
No, I do like bowl games. I don't care how bad they are.
I haven't looked at the defensive numbers yet. Should we take a look at those?
Shay's favorite player, Shay Sionoa, led
the leading tackler.
With,
good job. Congrats, Shay.
With one QB hit.
One QB hit?
Listen,
yeah.
He played a great game today.
He's returning next year, too. So
I think he should be the middle linebacker and then move Connor Shea outside. Because Connor Shea is really good linebacker.
There's like no standouts on defense. It's a whole lot of guys getting tackles, including your guy, Shay, Buck Coors, who got some props from the crew from Barstool.
Didn't have any tackles today, though.
One tackle.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't see it in the stats.
Yeah, he had a tackle.
One tackle, yeah.
Because they called out his name, too. Said it was the coolest name ever.
Yeah, they didn't credit it with...
He's part of the Coors family. Wyoming had no sacks today, which is pretty surprising.
No. In Toledo,
they had some hits on him, though. I mean, the quarterback got hit two times there. Wyoming had 5 pass breakups, but maybe more than that. But no. Oh, I guess the one interception. Isaac White. And again, that was an interesting situation too, to where it's 4th and forever. And he catches the ball at like the 2-yard line when he could have just knocked it down, and Wyoming had gotten the ball at like the 40. So that's a mistake. But I can understand that happening in the heat of the moment, but you got to be aware of your, down and situation.
And I saw you had a tweet during the game about the safety being a potentially pivotal play.
It was.
It definitely was.
Let's talk about that too. The safety, right? So this game just had everything. It was, as you said, it was everything, the best and the worst of the bowl era combined into one 60-minute football game.
We got everything that Craig Bowl has been at Wyoming since 2014.
Yep, in one game.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, the safety, right? It's like, and again, that's a field position thing. Why are you going shotgun in the dang end zone?
Yeah, especially since the play before that they ran like basically the Philly push, right?
Yeah. So
but then
very interesting. And that, I mean, just think if we would have lost on a safety, if the final score had been 15-13, we'd all be crushed. The team would have been crushed. I mean, to lose on a safety is just ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. Yep. And they should have arguably could have had another safety, right, where they got the holding, which started outside of the end zone, but it went into the end zone again. That's kind of a borderline call. It could have gone either way.
Well, on that ball that Peasley had too, on that safety, like it came out and it touched the goal line or touched the back line by a foot. But if that ball had stayed any further, got any other direction, it would have been a touchdown.
Oh, sure. And then the game is probably out of reach.
Yep.
At that point. So,
well, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows, right? With the way they play, they get down and then they decide to start playing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Because you shouldn't get to that point.
Wyoming had a new left guard today, number 70. I haven't seen him play all year.
Really?
Yeah, whoever number 70 is, he was in at left guard.
Okay, because I think one of our tackles got hurt and they flipped the guard to tackle. I remember hearing this now. I forgot.
Yeah, Jack Walsh was at tackle for Caden.
Yep.
And then
they put somebody in his spot.
I don't know who 70 was. He played a decent game. Luke Sandy got blown up by that.
All right, let's look up. It looks like Brad's on it already.
A couple times.
Look up who number 70 is, Mr. Brad.
Already on it, homie.
All right, and then I'm taking some Twitter mentions here to see if anything's cooking.
So many Twitter mentions. It would be handy if they would let me sort this by number.
Yeah, so again, so much to talk about, but a great way to end the season. Wyoming ends with 9 wins. For the first time, right? First time Craig Bowles the most wins we've had. Is that correct?
So when's the last time we actually had 9 wins?
I'll tell you right now.
So
96.
number 70 is a young fella named Rex Johnson.
Okay, is he from Colorado?
Rex is a redshirt freshman from Logan, Iowa.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
So we got an Iowegian here.
Most wins since 96.
96.
There you go.
There we go. That's a long drought of 9-win seasons.
Here we go. I just pulled up our official record on sportsreference.com, which is like all the other references, right? And they got all the college football stuff. And I believe Shay. And we had 10 wins in 96, obviously. So it's the most wins we've had since then is 9 wins. We've had 8 wins multiple other times, 2019, 2017, 2016, 2011, and 1998. So very interesting there. Whew. Yeah, exhausting.
Whiskey goes down a lot easier after a win.
It does. I don't know. Other things we want to talk about. How about we talk about the punter, Shay? You can lead that off. I know it's something you've been banging on about all year. And I'm like, how's this guy haven't been benched yet? Because, just absolutely, I don't like to pick on people, but terrible. He's been terrible all year.
You know what's so frustrating is if you're going to put somebody at the 20, at least bang it in the end zone, not your ball into the 20.
Yeah.
Because there's no hang time. Two of it, his one punt was a shank, but there's a lot of pressure, so I'm not going to give him like a ton of. He was just trying to get the ball out. But the other one was a line drive, and they're like, thank God Carson York was down there. The long snapper bails him out. And then the other one, it's like, come on, man. At least if you're going to get him down, it better be inside the 20. And if you're going to put in the end zone, at least just put it in the end zone and bang it out so there's not even a chance for a return.
Yeah.
And Chad and I have talked about this on other roundups and over the season. There's not a lot of emphasis, especially this year, and probably in past years, we'd have to go back and look, but there hasn't really been any emphasis on the special teams. If you look at our special teams, we are last in the country in punt returns. We are probably very close to last in kick returns. The punting has been atrocious. So I hope that there's like a little bit of emphasis in the Jay Sawbell era where special teams is highlighted a little bit more. You can swing field position with a good punt returner. You can swing field position with a good kick returner. You can swing field position with a really good punter. Why are these things being ignored? Because look how many yards we gave up today just in special teams, just from a punting aspect. And then, not ever, I think we returned, when I looked at this a few weeks ago, we'd only returned 2 punts the entire season. Otherwise, they were all fair catches. Yeah. You can't do that. You have to help you, just help yourself. And that doesn't happen. So I hope that's emphasized a lot more going forward.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna give you a
Where's
stat here.
Where's Hoost when we need him?
Yeah.
Oh wow, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
This is gonna blow your mind.
I hope not.
But so I just pulled up the list here. They only have our punters since the year 2000.
Okay.
But since the year 2000, Clayton Stewart, who is the punter, actually is the second highest ranked punter of all of them in terms of yards per kick. Now, he's had a terrible season this year, but I think if you take out this, because he's been great the past couple of years, but this year just really bad. He's averaging 43.3 yards a kick which is only behind one punter on this list. Any guesses on who that may be? Who is the leader by far? And it was someone that you'll know. He had a cup of coffee in the NFL.
Was it no, not Billy Vintage.
JD Wallum?
No,
Wallum.
Was it my former coworker,
No.
Andrew? What was his name?
Who's a big time punter?
Billy
Aaron
Vintage
Ellington
was at 42.9, which is not far, 43.3, so pretty close. How about you won't get it. You have to go clear back to the year 2000. He was a great punter. Aaron Elling.
Yeah.
45.6 yards a kick. Nice glasses there, Shay. I like him.
Yeah.
He was a Minnesota Viking, if I remember right.
Yeah, he played in the league for a while.
Elling?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for a couple of years.
Yeah, let's look here. Let's see if
he was with the Vikings.
Yeah, I know he was there for sure. Let's see
no possible
here.
way that Stewart
NFL career. I could probably get to it, but it's not showing it. Oh, here we go. Aaron Elling, NFL. Here we go. Aaron Elling, played 33 games in the NFL as a punter and a kicker.
Yeah.
Or no, just as a kicker. He made 19 and 28 field goals in the NFL and 50 of 50 extra points. So he was going both ways back then at Wyoming. He was the kicker and the punter.
Yeah,
he was
I
a weapon.
remember him as the kicker.
Yeah, and he punted too. I mean, he was a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else was a weapon? Dante Crow is a punter because he would take off and run with it.
He's on here. 42.8 yards a kick for Dante Crow, who was a wide receiver turned punter.
Turned weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what game he dropped the snap and then just took off.
Yeah.
He was from Sheridan, right?
Yeah, that was a big story I think Cody did because his mom passed away and Craig Bowl drove up to Sheridan with him or to do something with him.
Yeah, I remember that. That was one time
Andrew
ago.
says, with Bull's departure, there will be a new special teams coach of some sort. Sure. And I think that may fall to Savell because he does have special teams experience.
Why don't we just hire a special teams coach like a normal team?
You can't because of nobody does pretty much in college football. No, I won't say nobody, but most teams don't have a special teams coach because college football is so behind the times. You're only allowed so many coaches, and there's not enough full-time coaches for all the position groups. You're only allowed 10 full-time coaches.
Actually, so looking at the Cowboy coaching roster, Benny Boyd is the co-special teams coordinator.
Yes, with Bull. Bull's the co-coordinator. Yeah. So
actually,
it's usually
Shannon Moore is a co-special teams coordinator too.
Okay, sure. Well, I mean, Bull coaches the kickers. So, again, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out with any staff reshuffle we see. But there is rumors that the NCAA is finally going to drop this bull crap to allow you to have as many coaches as you damn well want. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the cat's kind of out of the bag now.
I mean, that's how it is in the NFL. Why? I mean, exactly. We're paying players now. Why?
They just do it with offensive. They just do it with offensive analysts. They did it under Glenn's last year.
Sure.
They hired that guy from Oklahoma State to be an offensive analyst.
Correct, but they can't be on field. So
yeah,
the proposal is that analysts will now be able to be on field coaches, which only makes sense at this point in time, right? I mean, come on, that's because it's technically illegal. Several teams have been slapped for having analysts coaching on the field during practices, which is illegal, but everybody's doing it.
Yep.
Only a few teams have been caught doing it. But again, why do you limit yourself? If you're there for the kids, you want the kids to be coached, you want the kids to be safe, let as many coaches. If a team wants to have 500 coaches, let them hire that. They have to pay it. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
It's silly, in my opinion. So we'll see. Hopefully that's one of the big rule changes for next year. And then that will alleviate a lot of these problems that you see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think having a dedicated special teams coach would be extremely beneficial to everyone. Well, us especially, but
Yeah. And we should have no problem finding kickers and punters who want to come to kick and punt at 7,000 feet.
yep. Well, we got our next kicker in waiting on his way, so
Perhaps. Here we go. Yep. Andrew says Alabama has one coach or analyst for every 1.2 players on the roster. I don't know if that's true. Is that a true number, Andrew? I mean, I know they have a lot, but that's crazy.
yeah. Well, the other thing Alabama has going for it is they are a head coach rehabilitation program, so that helps out too.
Sure. So, so a lot to be happy about in this game. As we said, obviously going out on a win. And just naturally, everybody's talking about what's next, right? And we'll see here in the coming weeks what staff changes are made.
Yeah, can't imagine.
Mostly on the offensive side of the ball.
We'll probably see a offensive coordinator named here in the next week or two, I bet.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they see one as soon as Monday, but
no. So you won't.
You need that and a new safeties coach on defense.
Yeah. So we'll have to have a new safeties coach. Correct. I'd imagine, right? So Aaron Bowl is the new DC. He'll continue to coach linebackers again. Because of the stupid rules, you have to be a coordinator and coach a position. So maybe that changes. But I wouldn't change it because he's done a great job, obviously, as the linebackers coach. It'll be interesting to see if he can do both, right? Because there's responsibilities there. We'll have to hire a safeties coach. That's right. If they go with that setup, some schools, have the cornerbacks and the safeties coached by the same guy.
Yeah,
maybe they could do that, right? And Boyd could coach the corners and the safeties, and then bring in a special teams coach, right? So those are the types of juggles that teams make. We'll see what Sawville does.
Yep.
I had another point I was going to make. Oh, no. So, Brad, as far as I know, it has been said by Sawville, and I've heard this from his mouth on several interviews, that he wants to bring in an OC to Laramie for in-person interviews.
Well,
and the coaching conference is coming up this week, so I'd imagine that'd be after the conference. He'll talk to some guys and then bring the finalists to Laramie for in-person interviews in Laramie.
But I guess the thing we don't really know is has he been doing that for the last 2 weeks?
Oh, he's been talking to people, no doubt. And he said that he's talked to people.
We don't know who's been in Laramie and who hasn't.
But he says he wants to bring them to Laramie. And he said it wouldn't happen until after the bowl game. So, again, if he's telling the truth, and you're right, maybe he brought some in before, but there wasn't a lot of window, right? Because he got named head coach. They went recruiting. They had a couple practices, and they went to Tucson.
Signing day.
So we'll see. But I think you agree. We could hit something by the end of next week.
Yep.
At the earliest.
It's possible.
But the week after for sure, because they got to, right, the recruiting window's still open. They got to work on some transfer possibilities. Shea has an interesting theory about the OC and the portal.
I think they go power 5 position coach, maybe a guy leaving or like a staff that's been fired, and they're going to bring a bunch of guys in on that.
It's possible.
So it'd be a matter of finding like who Jay Sawville knows.
I don't think it's going to be from the Sawville tree.
You don't think so?
Brian's in.
Finally,
Brian is joining us, Mr. Brian Stevens. Hello, sir. Yep, we were talking about that. Was the Craig bulliest win I've ever seen. That's right. That's the way to say it.
It had everything.
It was Craig Bowles' 10 years compacted into one football game.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
Good, bad, we had it all.
Absolutely wild.
It's fine.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah, these last few weeks of football have definitely shaved some years off my old ticker, that's for sure.
Sawville's defense still looked good today, though.
Heck yeah, it did.
Yeah, I mean, they always had a little struggles, right? And they do this just because of the system. They like to play a soft coverage to kind of feel things out. And Toledo was taking advantage of that early. But that kind of got knuckled down in the second half for sure. The soft coverage. So I have no complaints about the defense.
Toledo was averaging 426 a game, and Wyoming held them to 328. So defense was good, I would say.
Let's see. Here, the basketball score's got to have been final by now, right?
Nope.
No,
Still going?
don't even look. Don't even look. Don't look.
Nope.
What do you mean?
Don't look.
We're not doing it.
We're
Not today.
not doing it. You can
Not
talk
today,
about the women's
Satan.
basketball. Yeah, you can let.
Okay.
Not
You
today,
talk about the women's
Satan.
basketball score, but you're not.
All
Gonna
right,
talk about
that's
the men's
fine. That's
basketball
fine.
score.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I saw it earlier, so it probably got worse. I'm guessing from
It
you
did.
guys.
It did.
All right.
We're not quite.
We won't
we're
ruin
not-
the vibe.
Yep. Nope. We're not going to do that
We
today.
won't ruin the vibe. So, yeah. So, there's. I mean, that was an exhausting game. Hopefully, in the future here, with just some minor tweaks. I guess the problem is, right, Wyoming against good teams anyway, and they've won some games, a handful of games against good teams. Actually, I think Bull actually improved to. This is actually a milestone here. 4-4 on the season against winning teams. And this is the first season in his tenure that we've had at least a 500 record against winning teams with winning records. Now, granted, all the portal stuff, but 4-4 against winning teams this year.
Now, if we want to talk about another high note, and this will really hit Shea hard here. Cowboy Wrestling did have two medal winners today at the Soldier Salute tournament. Jor Volk finished second.
Listen,
And
I watched that. Volt got robbed, and Novak had to.
robbed.
He
Like,
did.
really?
They had neutral danger call. They had neutral danger, and they would not call it. He had the guy beat. It should have been a takedown. And then Novak ran into that turd that's AJ Ferrari, who just threw a punch at his own teammate.
That guy's a wanker.
Yeah, him and his brother are supposed to go to Iowa. Listen, I was not in a good way watching that and the football game. There's about to be holes in my drywall.
But also, Joey Novak finished third and beat a guy from Minnesota, so that's pretty good.
He did beat their starter. It was a good match. He did beat their starter.
So Cowboy Wrestling on the up today.
There we go.
But no, basketball was not played today. I'm almost positive.
Okay,
Not that we're
that's
gonna talk
fine.
about
I'm
it.
okay with that. So we'll see. So to look forward here with football, obviously the transfer portal is going to open up here again in early January, where players can officially sign. I'd imagine Wyoming they're going to have to take a handful of guys at key positions. I know they've offered a punter, which we just talked about. They've offered wide receivers. They've offered linebackers. And what's the other offer?
Hopefully
They haven't offered any corners, which I think they're going to
offensive
have
lineman
to
or
do.
two.
They offered the tight end from San Jose State.
Oh, a tight end. Yep, a tight end from San Jose. And then remember, I think the big work will come after spring football, where guys at big schools are going to get told, hey, you're fourth, fifth string, and that's when Wyoming can. Brad is looking at his empty glass in disgust. He's like, my glass is empty. So we'll see. So the big news, the big thing is looking forward here in the next couple of weeks, getting a coaching staff put together. And I think that'll come together pretty quickly. And then we'll go from there in terms of who leaves and who goes. And so we talked about that a little bit, right? It seems to have changed. So I would expect maybe a handful of guys to hit the portal when it opens again here.
I bet we start finding out tomorrow morning.
We could. Yep. We might see guys who hit the portal. So don't be surprised, because that's been the new trend. Guys have been playing their games and then hitting the portal, which is good, I guess.
Guys that actually like their team.
Oh, sure. I mean, guys who quarterbacks who started bowl games are hitting the portal. I mean, it's wild.
I saw this thing. It was a tweet from Joel or Danny Cannell of all the players that had opted out for Florida State today. The number was staggering. Between guys that were sitting out for the draft, transferred, or hurt, Like Florida State was literally playing their entire third string today, it looked like.
And
And
it looked like it. Yeah.
the final result of that game showed that they were playing their third stringers against an objectively good team.
All right. And Meat Hook is giving you props, Shay, for crushing Bush Lights.
Unfortunately,
Brian comes in with the. I don't know why that did that. It like does it with the elephant in the room, right? Well, Brian,
Just
I
name
don't
him
know.
Brian. We all know.
Yeah, we
know
know. I mean,
who it
it's
is.
Mike Grant. I'll say it. I mean, I've been tweeting this for talking about it forever, and I'm done. The gloves are off. I don't care. This is right. Wyoming wants to act like a big school where big boy football is getting paid. The wide receivers on our team stink, and it's because of Mike Grant. And I've had this from multiple sources, multiple players who used to play with guys who played in the NFL, guys who played in high-level college football. He's just not good enough. But it seems that he was probably the one leading the offense today.
It's possible.
So, again, the big question I have for this offseason is, will the OC have the power to bring in his own offensive position coaches?
Yeah, I think we retain Gordy. Gordy's done a good job with the running backs.
And he's a huge in recruiting, right?
Huge in recruiting.
Yep.
I think we keep Shannon Moore. I think
Sure.
we keep Joe Trapati.
Maybe. I've heard some people pushing back, as have I. I don't know.
I mean, the offensive line.
The offensive line coach. I don't know.
Definitely.
I'm on the fence.
There was 4 freshmen on the line today, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the line didn't play poorly today by any means.
No, they look like 4 freshmen, and Trapati was out there on that field goal. He was out there coaching his guys still, like, hey, get like this, so we're not going to do this. He was still coaching, so that's big to see. Where Grant is just looks like he's lost getting substitutions in.
You don't see him coaching the guys. Have you ever once seen where Grant was talking to a player on a sideline? I haven't, ever.
Yeah, I think Trapati's probably safe. I think the offensive line maybe had an aberration.
Yeah,
today.
he's the least of our problems.
No,
I
yeah,
agree.
totally true.
The
wide receivers, though.
So we'll see. That's my big question. If the OC has the power to come in and bring in some of his own guys, especially at wide receiver, at the very least, has to happen. Because Mike Grant is 100% a Craig Bowl guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because they go back into their time at Nebraska. Mike Grant was a quarterback at Nebraska. If you're
corner.
Quarterback.
Oh.
He was a quarterback at Nebraska, so he's never played wide receiver. But somehow he became, which is fine, right? People do that all the time. Just because you play a position doesn't mean you can't coach it.
Well, I mean, Matt Patricia can be an offensive and defensive coordinator, so
bring in Tanner Gentry and let's just call it good.
If you know football, sure. I mean, you can't do worse.
Also, I did see this looking through the stats today. Gunnar Gentry had a tackle today
on special teams.
Yeah. So, way to go, Gunnar.
All right. I'm going to check the Twitter machine one more time to see if there's anybody chiming in with something.
Oh my God.
But overall, I think we can be very happy with what we saw today.
To the offseason with a win.
Into the offseason, Craig Bowl can have his cigar in his Manhattan. And then we're on to the future, right? We got to flip the page because in the college football calendar, there's no downtime.
Yep. I would have a cigar with Craig, but I don't smoke cigars in my house, so it's kind of cold outside.
Okay. Yeah, we got some people. I don't want to worry about that. It looks like it's pretty quiet on the old Twitter machine.
Jameson's still not in bed. You can just accept Shay.
Yeah, my athletic director just poked her head in and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "He's looking at Christmas lights."
It's okay.
I have a question.
Whatever he was.
Do you drink so much whiskey, Shay, that your son was named after your favorite whiskey, or?
I do drink a lot of whiskey. I'm going to tell him he was conceived when I was drunk on Jameson. So we're having another kid at the end of March, and his name is going to be Morgan. So Captain Morgan and Jameson are going to be around here.
Oh my god! Well, congrats
wife
on the new
loves it.
addition.
Yeah,
And
Sarah's a big
congrats
fan of my
on
jokes.
God. Chad's kid right now would be named like what? Two Hearted.
Well, no, I've never had it. I mean, it's like the first time I've had it in a while. Mine would be Colette. There's a saison I drink that's local here to Denver named Colette. So if I had a girl, I guess I'd name her Colette after the saison.
All right.
So, all right. Well, everybody have a happy new year, I guess, right? Kick in the new year starting tomorrow night at midnight.
Yeah, what
And
happens
then-
now? I feel like the end of the Truman Show here a little bit. Every
No.
every year.
No,
I
as
feel like the
said,
guy in the bathtub.
the off season never sleeps, so we'll have plenty to talk about. We'll
Oh,
pop
yeah.
on again once an OC hire is made or any other news, right? Who knows what's going to happen? Like,
I mean-
as of right now, Jay Savell's the head coach, and we have no idea what his plans are. We have no idea who on staff he likes or dislikes, so there could be some shakeups coming, some stuff that we're not expecting. I don't think that's likely, but anything's possible.
And
So
we don't
there'll
know
be
if he's
plenty to
gonna.
talk about.
We don't even know if he's gonna develop the Third Reich and come after fan blogs for being obnoxious.
I don't know about. I don't think he's going to come after you guys. He's
You know
active
what?
on social media, so he may actually respond to tweets for once.
You know what? I bet we can get him on the show before the start of next season.
Catch him before he heads off on his beach vacation.
Huh? Well, we have a lot of time, right? In the summer's
yeah.
a slow period. I mean, between now and the start of next season, I bet I can get him on the show.
So
you can probably get a lot of the position coaches on there.
We'll work on it. So, yeah, our goal over the offseason was we'll chime in when there's news, but Brad and I have already talked about this, and Shay is probably the first to know this, but we're going to try to get some interviews like we did in the old days when we were just doing a pod. I mean, Brad here is still a superstar. He got Dave freaking Walsh to come on to our podcast. I mean, that's wild.
yeah, Gabe Napton too.
Gabe Napton, yep. So we're going to reach out to some former players, some guys in the media, and
So I guess
get
for
some
you
cool
guys,
stuff. Yeah, Meat Hook says that'd be cool. Yeah, so we're going to try to get some people on the show in the offseason.
so I guess you guys in the comments here, if you're listening along, just drop in the chat. I guess like
Ideas.
who we should what white whales out there we should try to find interviews with. And if you say Josh Allen, just don't.
You know,
We
you know
could
who's
get Josh
trying
Allen.
to grow whose brand is Eric Pauly.
Oh yeah, we've talked about him too.
He
We talked about him coming on
Twitter. Yeah.
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 So yeah, like Eric Pauly, guys like that. Another person that Brad and I have talked about was the current voice of the Cowboys was a friend of ours, Keith Kelly.
Yep.
We can get him. So we're going to try to get some interviews here in the offseason. I'll entertain some people, entertain us.
Cody's always a willing participant. So
And Cody, sure. About Bull's son,
Aaron Bull,
maybe.
yeah.
If Aaron Bull's willing to play. I mean, some of this, right, we have to work with the university to get permission, and that's where the sticky part is.
Yep, totally a thing. The university, and they have like weird, like, the university can occasionally have like weird rules where it's like, well, you can only talk to them, but it's between like 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. on like a Tuesday morning.
Correct.
So that's kind of one of the weird things about catching, current staff and players.
Redbeard's Birds is here.
Oh,
We'll have to see the story about this. He says, way to go, Cowboys. Yeah, thank you, Redbird. Brian's got a fun fact for us. This is great. We'll just keep moving. Until last year, I was the only person other than Dave Walsh to MC the... Wait, you MC'd the Cowboy Joe auction? This is news to me.
Brian is the voice of the indoor whatever team in Cheyenne. Like, he's big stuff.
Well, that's cool, man. All right. Well, we'll have to come up to the Cowboy Joe auction if you're going to do it again next year.
Yeah, say that should be in your neighborhood there, Chad.
What?
The Cowboy Joe Club option, that's what, in Cheyenne?
It's usually, I think, at Little America in Cheyenne is where they hold it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right in your hood-ish.
It's close. I mean, I can drive to Cheyenne, yeah. Cool.
You know who
Brian.
I saw was at the game today is the college football campus tour guy on Twitter.
Oh
He
yeah,
was, yeah. Oh, he loves Laramie, that guy.
he came
He
to
loves the
Missoula a
Cowboys.
few weeks ago too for the. I don't think it was for the semifinal game against NDSU. I think it was the quarterfinal game against Furman, but he was in town for that. He went and found one seat in the stadium where you couldn't see the whole field because that's his shtick.
All right. Well, Brian is downplaying his emceeing the Cowboy Joe auction, but I
No, Brian, you are.
think it is. And he says it is at a hold on, good Lord. It is at a Little America. Yep.
Okay.
He says, do you guys belong to the Cowboy Joe Club? I used to.
Yeah, I
And
did
then I
too.
stopped.
I haven't either.
I don't know.
I think 2024 will be the year that I
Maybe.
try to pull off a Cowboy Joe Club and Grizzly scholarship. So
Shay looks like a Cowboy Joe type of guy.
I used to be, and
Okay.
I will tell you, I got so frustrated in the 2017 football season, and basketball was terrible, and wrestling wasn't doing that good. I just stopped. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and for like Chad, well, for me, maybe Chad, but Cowboy Joe Club points don't really matter to me because I'm never going to be on the list for season tickets. I don't live close enough to
No.
there for
Yeah,
that.
and that's the main reason you do it, right? To get all the
Yeah.
perks.
Yeah, and I've thought about this, and I don't really know what you guys' thoughts about this are, but nowadays with the era of NIL, you've got Cowboy Joe Club, you've got the 1YO NIL collective. Like, where do you think the money is best allocated for that, right? Like, the Cowboy Joe Club kind of serves its purpose. The NIL thing, it seems like it'd be more geared towards like football and keeping your, highest revenue sport active, so where do you allocate funds to for the big?
CGC should go to non-full scholarships, and then NIL, you got to focus on the bigger ones. And the lights got to shut off. I have nothing in my house now, so I got to let you guys go.
All right,
All right. That's no good. Power went out literally on Shay.
Yeah.
Thanks for
All right,
joining us,
boys.
man. We'll catch you later.
All right, man. Bye.
Damn,
I saw it went dark, and I was like, "What's going on?" His
that's pretty
power
good.
went out. We're about to wrap up here. Meat Hook does have a question. It's a good question, Meat Hook. Do you guys have season tickets? We don't, because Brad lives in Montana now. I live in Colorado. I'm in Denver, but I could make it there. But for what? How many? Like for 5 or 6 seasons, I had a press pass, and I could still get a press pass. It's just the effort to get to Laramie every week is hard.
Yeah.
But maybe next year, right? And to be honest, right, as you know, I was getting burnt out on the bowl era. So yeah, I think maybe next year I'll try to hit a few games, get a press pass for a couple games. Probably the season opener might be a good one.
Yeah.
And a few other of the big ones. We'll see. But yeah, for like 4 or 5 years, I think I went to every home game with a press pass, covering it for WyoNation.
Pretty consistently.
Oh, I hardly missed. I don't think I missed a game. Yeah.
I think the only time you ever missed was like when the weather got weird.
Yeah, when the weather got bad, obviously. So Wyoming's a little hard to get to, obviously. And with some of the weird start times, and if you don't have a place to stay in Laramie, if it's a night game, it's hard to stay there. So yeah. But we'll see. I'll probably try to hit some games in a press pass.
I think for me it's roughly about
look at this. Brian's
12 to 13 hour drive.
Hold on here. Hold on. Jeez, this is getting bad. Come on, work.
Jesus, Chad.
Brian says he's almost always got a spare. Well, I'll keep that in mind, Brian.
And I think Brian still drives his RV to the tailgate, so you can just crash in there when
he does. That's true. I've seen his RV at the tailgate. So, all right. I'll remember that.
Yeah, I think next year might be a good opportunity to get down to
to get refreshed. As I said, I was just burnt out.
So me and my tailgate homies, we're trying to hit like one like big college football game a year. So I think next year we've narrowed it down to a Notre Dame game against Louisville in South Bend. So if we don't get murdered in South Bend, then anything can happen, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll have to get you to because you and I haven't met at a Wyoming game in a long time. So maybe
No.
next year.
We haven't been to one since we did the Josh Allen 3 overtime game, right?
Oh, Brian says he sold the Chinook. What?
Lame.
Oh man, that's all right. We could still tailgate with the other Brad, who's always there.
Oh yeah. Other Brad was actually trying to talk me into coming down next year for a game.
Coming down to where?
To Laramie.
Oh, okay.
He was going to try to meet up with me in Frisco, but he couldn't pull it off.
Okay. Well, I know. I mean, we are. So again, Wyoming's next game will be at Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Brad's down there too.
I can't go that weekend.
You can't go. Okay.
Because I'm going to Pink 2 days before that in Missoula.
Oh, jeez. See, we're already planning for next year. But so yeah. So Wyoming. So we'll end this here because we've been going on. We're about over an hour, but it's great, right? We will not apologize in talking about a win. But yeah, Wyoming's next game will be at Arizona State to open the new season, which is not great. They will be, for the first time, Big 12 member, Arizona State.
Boy, and they look like ass at times this year too.
It's a winnable game, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah. Like they had Jaden Rashada starting a quarterback that transferred from Florida, and he was.
I don't know. So we'll see. It's going to be tough. Obviously, a Power 5 on the road.
In probably 115 degree heat in Tempe.
It's like August 30th or something, right? Do
Yeah,
we have the exact date?
31st.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
The Grizz have a home game that weekend too. Yeah. So
Tempe in Arizona in
not
August. It's going to be brutal.
I'm a polar bear. I wouldn't survive.
It's going to be so hot there.
Yeah, I'm a polar bear. I wouldn't live.
It's not going to be great. But that's Wyoming's next game, other than the spring game, of course.
Yep. And the spring game is in Cheyenne this year too.
Yes, and we talked about that. Curtis is here. I don't know what this means. Don't get skateboard.
Scatabo was the running back for Sacramento State who transferred to Arizona State.
Oh, okay. There we go. See, Oh, I see. This guy's I see Monty. He's a Montana dude.
Yeah, right? Curtis lives just a stone throw away from me.
Okay.
I think we're gonna go hit Lolo's most exclusive bar later. So
Curtis then.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome, Curtis. Oh, I remember Skate-A-Boat. I remember watching last season.
Yeah, he was awesome at Sacramento State.
Oh yeah, I remember watching him. I was watching Sacramento State play somebody, and yeah, he was just running over people.
Oh yeah, he's a monster.
We got people coming. Sure, Buttersquatch is here. How do you feel about Svoboda? I mean, obviously he's got a lot of talent. He can throw the ball. He can make all the throws. He can run too.
He runs like a goddamn rhino.
He's not super fast, but he's effective.
You don't have to be fast if you're running over people.
I know, and he did it right today, right? I mean, he had the touchdown. He also set up the field goal with that, what was like a 5 or 6 yard run.
Jeez, and had he not slipped, he probably would have punched it in.
Maybe.
Like his cleats went out from under him, but he was going to take somebody in the end zone with him on that run.
Yeah. So we'll have a lot of time to talk about him. He's already been named a starter, which I guess is not a surprise.
Yeah, and wasn't there a transfer on the quarterback roster too?
We do. We have
Carson May. Is that his name?
Carson May, who was at Iowa.
Yeah.
And so he's a former 4-star recruit.
But he was also at Iowa.
But Iowa gets 4-star quarterbacks all the time, and they just choose not to use them.
Because they're in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May?
I think
so. May a sophomore? I think he'll be a sophomore this year.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got great potential, though.
We'll see.
A big arm, obviously.
Yeah, no, he looks good, too. So, again, that's why I'm kind of surprised they're naming Svoboda the starter. I mean, it could change, right? I mean,
I think that's on purpose. Because that keeps him maybe content enough to not be poached for the transfer portal.
Sure. There's an aspect of that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so we'll see. So, I mean, Svoboda has got a little experience. He started at Texas. He looked good enough there, right? I mean, he went to Austin. He didn't look phased. So I think we got a lot of potential there with him.
Also,
but
I just noticed this, by the way.
yeah,
I'm looking at the UW roster.
Sure.
There's a young fella from Denver-ish
Okay.
named Lefi Purcell.
Oh yeah,
Is that Mike's?
yeah. It's like his cousin or something.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's only 155 pounds, so it can't be Mike's brother.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Butterscotch says there's times I thought Voda was better than Peasley. I mean, it's hard to say. We haven't seen a lot of
yeah.
of
There's things that Svoboda.
I'd like to call him Oboda. It's Svoboda. I think he just got mixed up there.
No. He just combined the names together. Evan.
Yeah, I know. Evan and Svoboda together. Evan Boda is what we can call him.
His last name's kind of hard to say, so we might as well just combine them.
Yeah, so no, we'll see. As I said, he played at Texas, didn't look phased, can make all the throws, can run.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see, I think, there could be, right? I don't know. There could be a lot of growing pains still.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have a lot of experience. But we have all offseason to talk about that. So.
Yeah.
And we'll see, right? Now that Bull's retired, now you're going to hear a lot of stuff coming out, perhaps. Inside, outside, good, bad. It doesn't really matter because it's over now, but you're going to start hearing stuff.
Yeah.
All right. He's got more questions. We'll take your questions. He says, was it on purpose? Won't say otherwise. Okay. I got you. I figured so. Running back next season.
Ooh.
Well, is it? Is Whaley gone? I thought he had one more year. Or am I crazy?
Don't know if you're crazy or not. I thought he had two
another year. Or am I nuts? Who knows these days, right? With the
he's a junior, so he should be.
Yeah, he's got another year. I thought so. Yeah, so Whaley's got another year, and I'd expect him back.
I hope.
Yeah, I mean, he's not an NFL guy. The NFL's not going to draft him and use him.
Yeah, he's had a knee surgery already, and that's usually a red flag for NFL teams.
So, I mean, Whaley's going to be back. Yeah, he says Whaley's going to be back. That's what I thought. Brian says. And then you got all the guys coming back off of injury. We'll see if they come back.
Mm-hmm.
McNeely's a good back. Is there one more we lost to injury? I can't remember. There's been so many.
Yeah.
McNeely's good. So if you got Whaley and McNeely next year, I mean, good Lord. Plus Farrell.
Sam Scott.
So we're pretty loaded.
Running back room is going to be loaded.
Pretty loaded at running back. Least of my concerns. But Whaley's back, which is great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, if we're kind of closing up here.
There we go. Brian says Peasley is tough as nails, but Svoboda is clearly more talented.
We'll see.
We'll let you close it up. We've been going. This is great, though, right? I mean, it's better. If you think at the end, I mean, this game, as I said earlier, this game could have ended 15-13 where we lost because we gave up a freaking safety.
Oh, my God. That would have been
I mean, oh, my goodness. So, yeah, final thoughts, Brad.
Yeah, I think we're talking about, looking revisionist history and whatever. I think we can probably agree that Craig Bull was good for this program in a lot of different
100%.
ways.
Yeah.
The program is in a much better spot now than it was when Dave Christensen left. And I don't think you were there, but I was there for Bull's first game when they played Montana. And we won like 4 games that year after coming off a 2-win season.
I can't remember if I was there or not.
Yeah.
No, was it Montana? Was it his first game?
I think so.
Okay, because I remember being at a Montana game, but I think it was Joe Glenn. Did he open against Montana as well, or am I crazy?
I think the last game they played was in Billings.
Something
like that. I don't know. It had been a long time.
I think I might have been at the game then, Craig Bull's first game.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't. I was in Florida at the time, so no, I wasn't.
You were a Florida man in George then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say the program is in a much better place now. I think next year has got a lot of potential. I hope nobody picks us to finish first, but I think the
Well, they
possibility
shouldn't.
to finish first in the conference is definitely there.
Ooh. Oh,
You know,
wow.
we've got, you know, maybe Easton Gibbs headed off to the NFL as a draft
Yes.
pick. So I don't know. I think we are in a much better place now than we were 10 years ago, which is a positive.
100%.
And we're probably in a much better place now than we were at the end of last year too.
End of last year.
I mean, last year we finished with a loss. So
Well, sure. And you had a lot of guys in the portal.
yep.
So, sure. I'll agree with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I think next year's got a lot of potential.
Sure. All right. We'll make this the last comment. Thank you, Butterscotch. Says, all will depend on how well the new head coach does. So that's Salvel. It's been a good DC, but a head coach is a leap. And it is. Yep.
Totally true.
We don't know. He could be the next Vic Koenig. Or he could be the next...
The guy at Oklahoma.
The guy at Oklahoma.
He went from lifelong coordinator to head coach.
Oh, yeah. Venables?
Yep.
Venables, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know, it's how good of a general manager and whatever you are of a football team.
But I say early returns are good. What I've heard from him, he's upbeat, he's positive.
Mm-hmm.
He believes in the same principles as Bull because he was under Jerry Kill, but he's not a dinosaur, and he knows that we need to adjust things to keep up with modern college football. So that is my hope for the future. And we'll see. Right? The question is, what are those tweaks going to be? And we'll see that with his coaching hires and the freedom that his coaching hires have to change things.
Yeah. And, you know, are there many teams in college football that could have put together a drive to end a football season like Wyoming did tonight? Or how many teams would have just crumpled and not?
Yeah. I mean, because we were down to our backup quarterback.
Yeah. So hopefully Savell can keep that kind of attitude, mentality moving forward of this team. Like, we're going to keep playing our brand of football and it'll work itself out.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave it there. Thank you, each and one of you who has joined us this year. We started this venture as like an experiment to see if it would work. I don't know. Brad and I will have some discussions. I'm sure it will be back. And if you have suggestions on how we can improve this thing, but as you said, we'll try to do some cool things in the off season with a lot of different interviews with different people in and out of the program. And we'll look forward to the football season. I mean, some basketball will chime in every once in a while. It's not our focus, not our strength. But we'll see. Here we go. We got one more comment. We'll make this last comment, and we thank you. I went from watching the Wyoming Cowboys take care of business. Now I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, there we go. Some NFL action tonight.
Let's go, Lions.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, thank you, each and one of you, for joining us. We will certainly be back for next season, but as I said, we'll be around here in the off season with the news as it requires. But yeah, that's all for me. Any last words, Brad?
No, it's been a lot of fun doing this little video cast. It's been a lot of fun.
We will. Yeah, you're welcome anytime, man.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen.
We'll let you and Shay banter with each other.
We'll make it happen. I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, no, it's been fun doing the video cast this year. I was like, when you first approached me about it, I was like, I don't know. Nobody wants to see our dumb faces. And I'm still convinced of that, but
sure.
At least we have fun doing what we do. So
yeah. As I said, you and I are going to have these conversations anyway, so we just as well broadcast them to the world.
That's true. Instead of doing it over Google Hangouts, we'll just do it here.
Yeah. Meathook says, enjoyed it. Hope it continues. Yes, and we hope you continue with us, Meathook. Thank you. So, all right, WyoNation. Enjoy your new year. We will be back soon because there's going to be some football news soon. As we said, Salvel's now the coach.
Yep.
And themes are going to start dropping. So we'll be back as soon as there's something to talk about. We'll be back. We'll talk about it. Thank you so much. And we'll make this the last comment because it's too good. He does have a face for radio. I agree, Brian. All right, boys and girls. Thank you once again. We'll talk to you all soon. Go Pokes. Victorious in the Arizona Bowl on a walk-off field goal by my boy. # Red Shoe Man.
Red Shoe Man.
Peace out.